for our Saturday Srimad Bhagavatham 10th Canto study. So we have our Guru, His Grace Sri Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu with us. So we'll all together welcome Prabhuji for this today's session by chanting 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra all together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. So Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu, you can take over.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadate Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunatham Nitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Nitamsha Namao Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyaptadeshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratushe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namusute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, hopefully everybody is fine.
Yes, Prabhuji. By Krishna's grace.
Krishna's grace. Thanks.
Today we are extra fine, Prabhuji. Today evening, even extra fine.
Saturday evening.
Saturday evening, yes.
For me also it's special, Saturday evening, because I get to speak about Krishna directly, Krishna's pastimes directly. There is some special taste in speaking direct Krishna Lila. Because although Maharaj Parikshit heard all those 9 cantos from Shukdev Goswami, at the end he tells, now enough of the activities of other avatars and other pastimes. Now I want to hear purely about Krishna's pastimes. That Parikshit Maharaj actually requests Shukdev Goswami, and that's how 10th canto starts. When Parikshit Maharaj was waiting, when Krishna's pure pastimes, activities, Leela, so that will start. So Krishna's pastimes are so sweet and nectarian. Just we can keep on swimming and swimming and swimming in that pastimes. That's why Prabhupada also gave us Krishna book in the beginning only. So Prabhupada thought, this whole Bhagavatam, when it will get complete. So he gave the nectar in the beginning one, Krishna book, like that.
अगर मैं मॉर्निंग में प्रभु जी के साथ आए तो ठीक है, अदरवाइज विल कम लेटर बट विल स्टे टुनाइट, ठीक है टुमारो से। हाँ, एंड टुमारो विल स्टे मॉर्निंग मंगल आरती करते हैं भूमि मणिपुर से।
हरे कृष्ण। So, speaking about Krishna's pastime is very nice. Hearing Krishna's pure pastimes. So this 10th canto is filled with that. And 10th canto it's compared to like condensed kheer. So how many of you want to drink kheer condensed? That is so that is like 10th canto. But what is the difference between the normal kheer and the kheer of 10th canto?
This is unlimitedly
Normal
sweet.
kheer will be, yes, after some time it will get, you
Yeah.
cannot take more.
You may take one bowl, 2 bowls, 3. Somebody like me may take 5. But then after that, you will be like, bas, enough. I cannot drink more. But the kheer of Krishna Katha is so wonderful. You can keep drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking. And we can go on whole night also. Discussing Krishna Katha. So Krishna Katha is so sweet, and it is said that the Anand Vrindavan Champu and Gopal Champu written by Jiva Goswami and Kavi Karnapur, they are compared to the kheer taken from 10th canto, and then some dry fruits are added, and some camphor is added, and some kesar is added, kesar like that, and then it is given in a silver bowl. Then how will you feel, Amal Arjun? To
Brilliant, Prabhuji.
drink. Very nice.
We are going to take the flight and we are going to land in Pune tomorrow to experience it more.
You can experience online also. It's online kheer. So like that, we have very nice books by our acharyas also. By Jiva Goswami. Goswami's Gopal Champu is very nice in that Govardhan Leela is described in great detail. What happened under Govardhan Leela. So Bhagavatam, where some pastimes are not so much described, they are described in Anand Vrindavan Champu, Gopal Champu, like that. And there is Garga Samhita, and there are very sweet nectarine pastimes of Lord Krishna, which we can just go on hearing and hearing and hearing and hearing and hearing. That's why Prabhupada gave us Krishna book, pure nectar. So we'll dive now into the nectar of Krishna's pastimes. Everybody is ready?
The more.
Very well.
Very well. So today's 56th chapter, the Shamantak Jewel.
Hare Krishna, as requested yesterday, please switch on all your videos.
Achha. Yeah, so I can know that who are listening actually there. Yeah, so we'll, who will read summary? Yes, who would like to read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, sir.
Ready, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Yes. Chapter 56 from Canto 10, the Shamantaka jewel. This chapter describes how Lord Krishna recovered the Shamantaka jewel to allay false accusations against him and married the daughters of Jambavan and Satrajit. By enacting the pastime involving Shamantaka jewel, the Lord demonstrated the futility of material wealth. When Sukadeva Goswami mentioned that King Satrajit offended Lord Krishna on account of Shamantaka jewel, King Parikshit became curious to hear the details of this incident. Thus, Sukadeva Goswami narrated the story. King Satrajit received the Shamantaka gem by the grace of his best well-wisher, the sun god Surya. After fastening the gem to a chain, when he then hung around his neck, Satrajit traveled to Dwaraka. The residents, thinking he was the sun god himself, went to Krishna and told him that Lord Surya has come to take his audience. But Krishna replied that the man who had come was not Surya, but King Satyajit, who looked extremely effulgent because he was wearing the Shamantaka jewel. In Dwaraka, Satyajit installed the precious stone on a special altar in his home. Every day the gem produced a large quantity of gold, and it has the additional power of assuring that wherever it was properly worshipped, no calamity could occur. On one occasion, Lord Sri Krishna requested Satyajit to give the gem to the king of the Yadus, Ugrasena, but Satyajit refused, obsessed as he was with greed. Shortly thereafter, Satyajit's brother Prasena left the city to hunt on horseback, wearing the Shamantaka jewel on his neck. On the road, a lion killed Prasena and took the jewel away to a mountain cave, where the king of the bears, Jambavan, happened to be living. Jambavan killed the lion and gave the jewel to his son to play with. When King Satyajit's brother did not return, the king presumed that Sri Krishna had killed him for Shamantaka gem. Lord Krishna heard about this rumor circulating among the general populace, and to clear his name, he went with some of the citizens to find Prasena. Following his path, they eventually found his body and that of his horse lying on the road. Further on this, saw the body of the lion Jambavan had killed. Lord Krishna told the citizens to remain outside the cave while he went in to investigate. The Lord entered Jambavan's cave and saw the Shamantaka jewel lying next to the child. But when Krishna tried to take the jewel, the child's nurse cried out in alarm, bringing Jambavan quickly to the scene. Jambavan considered Krishna an ordinary man and began fighting with him. For 28 days continuously, the two fought until finally Jambavan grew weak from the Lord's blows. Now, understanding that Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Jambavan began to praise him. The Lord touched Jambavan with his lotus hand, dispelled his fear, and then explained everything about the jewel. With great devotion, Jambavan gladly presented the Shamantaka jewel to the Lord, together with his unmarried daughter, Jambavati. Meanwhile, Lord Krishna's companions, having waited 12 days for Krishna to come out of the cave, returned to Dwaraka despondent. All of the Krishna's friends and family members became extremely sorrowful and began regularly worshipping goddess Durga to assure the Lord's safe return. Even as they performed this worship, Lord Krishna entered the city in the company of his new wife. He summoned Satyajit to the royal assembly, and after recounting to him the entire story of the Shamantaka jewel recovery, gave the jewel back to him. Satyajit accepted the jewel, but with great shame and remorse. He went back to his home, and there he decided to offer Lord Krishna not only the jewel, but also his daughter, so as to atone for the offense he had committed against the Lord's lotus feet. Sri Krishna accepted the hand of Satyajit's daughter, Satyabhama, who was endowed with all divine qualities. But the jewel he refused, returning it to King Satyajit. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So, this is one of the most complicated story in the Bhagavatam. How Shamanta jewel traveled all places. So, the verse which comes, Pibanti ye bhagavat atmana satam kathamrita shravana puteshu samritam punanti te vishaya vidushitashayam vrajanti tacharana saroruhantikam. We describe that Krishna Katha is so nectarian sweet that if we drink it regularly, then there are two effects. One is punanti and second is vrajanti. Punanti is one gets purified, one gets purification by hearing Krishna Katha, and second is he gets elevation to Krishna's abode. Vrajanti te charana saroruhantikam. And such a person who delights in Krishna Katha, he will not only just get purification, but he will get elevation to Krishna Loka. So that is the guarantee. So developing taste, just by we are just hearing and doing Krishna Katha, and one may feel what we are doing. Do something practical. People say, na, kuch to karo samaj ke liye. Do something for the sake of the people. What you are doing, just sitting and hearing. But the sitting and hearing is everything. That is going back to God. It is guaranteed by this. One who drinks Krishna, pibanti. So people don't know actually this is what is doing. The Krishna Katha, hearing. That's what Parikshit Maharaj did. He didn't do something practical. The sages in the forest, they were not telling Parikshit, "Arey, 5 दिन हो गए, 6 दिन हो गए, you are just sitting and hearing, do something practical for then people say, do something practical. They are so gross. Actually, this is actually doing, the best doing. That is hearing Krishna. So, this Samantak 12 pastime, I think it's in 3 chapters divided. Almost. Next chapter is also there. Satrajit murdered, and Krishna marries 5 princes. So we had seen Krishna marrying Rukmini, which is, she was the first of the queen Krishna married. And then later she married 16,107 the queens, out of which 16,100 they were together at place of whom? Who was the king who had captured all those queens?
Vamasura?
Bhaumasura. He was actually Krishna's own son. So he had captured all those Bhaumasura. And Krishna married from there 16,100. And these 8, which are the principal queens, they are described here. So first amongst all of them was Rukmini's marriage. Rukmini, and then Mitravinda, and then Satyabhama, Jambavati, and these 8 are there. So I think Samba is the son of Jambavati, and of course Pradyumna is son of Rukmini, and Satyabhama's son is Satyabhama's son. Krishna and Satyabhama's son. I forgot. Samba is one who actually offended the sages. You heard about Samba?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Samba gets that he puts as a
Like a pregnant woman.
Yeah, he is son of Jambavati. Pradyumna is son of Rukmini. Other sons I forgot. Satyabhama son of. So these are 8 principal queens. So others are described slowly here. So in this Shamantak jewel, what happens is, let me share that. Is it clear? Able to see PPT?
Yes, Roji, you can see.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So you see the Shamantak Mani. So it teaches great lessons to us, the Shamantak Mani. So how so many murders and so many misunderstandings and the whole conspiracy are due to one Shamantak Mani. So it's Shamantak Mani, and the wealth has such potency to bring so much of misunderstanding and so much of violence in the society. Okay? If that wealth is not used for Krishna's service, then that wealth can bring great disaster. That's what we see in this whole episode. So, first of all, so what happens first is the Satrajit, he is worshipping sun god, and when sun god is pleased with Satrajit, then he offers him this Shamantak Mani. The sun god offers Shamantak Mani to Satrajit, and the Shamantak Mani is so powerful that it produces so much gold. How much gold? That is not given in the summary.
So, Prabhuji, I have heard in one Bhagavatham class it is 8
Why 8 what? 8 kilo?
8 tula.
8 tula. How much it comes in kilo? We understand in kilo. Versus it's some pounds something there. So it has the power to produce so much of kilos of gold daily, wherever it would be. And second thing was it would produce auspiciousness, whoever has that. So one is it will produce lot of gold, and then second was there will be no calamity in his life or untimely death, and also evils like snake bites, mental disorders, physical disorder, and presence of deceitful person. So this is given in a translation. 8 bharas of gold. We'll see what Prabhupada says. 8 bhara. Prabhupada is giving all the 20 tulas make up 1 bhara. So since there are about 3,000 grades of price in 1 ounce of production, 170 pounds of gold every day. So how much it comes to kilo? Pounds into kilo? Anybody knows?
Approximately half the figure. So
That's
this
a
should be
half.
around
170.
85 kilos approximately.
85 kilos. Okay. 85 kilos of gold. My God. Anybody knows what is the 1 kilo cost of gold? What is the rate going on? Everywhere, I think gold standard is same. So it's huge, no? 85 kilos, and that also daily. So 85 kilos of gold, and plus what? There will be
Auspiciousness.
no calamities and no inauspiciousness. Pardon? Yeah. Okay. So now what happens? Satyajit, when he comes to Dwarka, everybody thinks that he is the sun god because he is so shining, and they come to Krishna and say that sun god has come personally to meet you. Krishna says, "Oh my dear citizen, he is not sun god, he is Satyajit, and he has the Shamantak mani in his neck. That's why he is looking so effulgent." So when Satyajit comes, Lord Krishna meets him, and Lord Krishna tells him to Satyajit that you should give this Shamantak mani to our king Ugrasen, so that it will be there with the government, the king, and he had kept few days with him, and he had got some gold from that. So now Krishna said that you now give it to Ugrasen, but then Satyajit said no, I have got it and I will keep it. And he denies. So first lesson we learn is that uh, one may be staying in a dham, one may be staying near Krishna, Krishna's associate, but still he is actually denying Krishna's will. Can you imagine? So just distance doesn't matter. That I am so near to my spiritual master, I am so near to Krishna. But staying in Dwarka, staying with Krishna, seeing Krishna, this fellow is denying Krishna's will. First of all, he is worshipping a demigod. When Krishna himself is there, what was the need to worship sun god? So that is the first mistake. Second mistake is he is denying Krishna's desire to keep the Samantak jewel with the king. That was second mistake. And third mistake was later he accused Krishna only that you have taken the Samantak money. So somebody who is staying in Dwarka, can somebody think of like that? First of all, worshipping somebody other than Krishna. And second thing is denying Krishna's desire. And third thing is accusing Lord Krishna only. So it's like higher level of it. First is not worshipping somebody else than Krishna. Second is actually not fulfilling the desire of Krishna. And third is accusing Krishna of something wrong. So like that, Satyajit did. So although he was a resident of Dwarka, but still he was actually not actually resident of Dwarka. So he was very near to Krishna, but very far from Krishna. So, so once Radhanath Maharaj had taken our yatra to Vrindavan, and in Vrindavan he had taken us at various places and he was showing. And then he once in the daytime he had visited the kitchen team, what all of them are doing behind the scene. Because many of these devotees who are in the kitchen, they don't get to go to various places or hear katha. So they are just busy serving morning, afternoon, evening, 3 times making prasad, and they are like full time in the kitchen. So when Maharaj went and met all of them, Maharaj said, let's see, all of these people, they are staying on the dham, but you are staying in the dham. Because you are serving the devotees, that's why you are staying in the dham. Others are just staying on the dham. It's on the dham. They are not in the dham. They are seeing and they are enjoying the dham. That's good. Okay, no problem. But those who are serving, they are actually staying in the dham. So that he had told to those who were serving. So they got very inspired. So they wouldn't be going out and they wouldn't be seeing all the places. So like that, although Satrajit was there in Dwarka, so he was staying on Dwarka or in the Dwarka?
On Dwarka.
On Dwarka. It was on the Dwarka. It was not inside. You know? So, so just like Prabhupada would say that many of the disciples, they want my personal association and they always want to be with me. But Prabhupada would say that physical association doesn't make any difference. That is not very important. Vani is important, not so much Vapu. So Prabhupada would give the example. You know what Prabhupada would give the example? Of somebody very near, but he's useless. Vapu and Vani, when Prabhupada would give, tell, you know what example he is doing? Somebody who is very near, but he's only giving trouble.
Bug or fly, Prabhu?
Pardon?
Fly or fly sitting
Mosquito,
on?
mosquito, Prabhu, mosquito.
Mosquito. Yeah. Mosquito, you know. Prabhupada would say, this mosquito is sitting on my lap. He's so close to me, but he is only giving me pain. So what is the use of somebody who is very near, but only giving pain? So like that, some of the disciples would ask, I would like to be with you, Prabhupada, always with you, always with you, always with you. But actually, what I am telling you, go and preach and open a center, that you are not listening. But you always with you, always. What is the use? You are only a pain to me. Just like that. So we should not try to just try to do with Vapu. It's good if we get Vapu association of spiritual master, but that is not so important. Prabhupada would say, and even his spiritual master, how much he got, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. So he didn't get much association. Many of his god brothers, they got a lot of Vapu association, but Prabhupada didn't get. So Prabhupada fulfilled the desire, the vani of his spiritual master. So like that, during Lord Krishna's times also, there were many people who were seeing Krishna, who were there with Krishna, but actually they were only giving pain to Krishna. But you see, Vrajavasis, they stayed away from Krishna for so long time, but they were giving such great pleasure to Krishna. They were always thinking of Krishna, always thinking of Krishna's pleasure, and Krishna was thinking always of them only. So just physical association doesn't matter, that how we are close. So so physical association is not so important. What is important is how we are connected through consciousness. So like that, we see Vitrasur. Vitrasur was externally looking a demon, but internally he was a devotee. And Indra, he was looking externally a devotee, but internally he was a demon. So many times we see what all things Indra does. But Vitrasur, you see outside, but his prayers are so wonderful. You see. So like that, Vitrasur, So just because somebody is looking like a devotee or somebody is staying very near to Krishna doesn't mean he is a devotee. A devotee means how close his consciousness is to Krishna. So that is very important. So here we see Satrajit, such a person who is in Brajavasi actually, but he not Braja, Dwarkavasi, but he is not actually Dwarkavasi in one sense. So he denied Krishna's desire to give that jewel, and also he actually later accused Krishna, Lord Krishna. Later he gets the reaction for that, of course. So that is the first lesson, that how just the distance doesn't matter. Yeah.
Krishna was a butter thief, he was not a jewel thief.
He was not a jewel thief. Satrajit thought
Krishna
that
he was a butter thief.
Yeah, he was not a jewel thief. Yes. What is the need for him to take the jewel? He has more wealth, so much wealth. What is that jewel? But Satrajit nevertheless accused Krishna like that. Then of course what happened was Satrajit had kept that, and then one day his brother Prasen, he had taken that in the jungle, and then suddenly a lion came, killed Prasen, took that money, jewel, and then that lion wore, and then that was seen by a Jamwan bear. He killed the lion, and he took that and gave to the child for playing. So now Satrajit got angry and he thought that Krishna only did this because I didn't give him that jewel. So he killed my brother and took the jewel. And there were rumors all over in Dwarka. Now if you see, now there is one bewildering thing in this. Even the Dwarka Vasis for some moment actually thought that Krishna did it. Can you imagine? And not once, Shukdev Goswami actually, Acharya says that Shukdev Goswami in a little frustrating mood or in a disgusting mood, he says one verse, I don't remember, where he says that how this Dwarka Vasis got influenced by Satraji and even they also accused Krishna. Can you imagine? And not once but twice. Once is this, and second, you know when? Second time, again they accused. Second time, when Akrura had taken the jewel. When the jewel was with Akrura, the Akrura was missing from Dwarka. And then the Dwarkawasis again thought, Krishna sent Akrura somewhere to a hidden secluded place because he had the money. So maybe Krishna did it. So that was second time. Then again Krishna had to go and call Akrura to save his name. So that like that, twice Dwarkavasis got influenced by Satraji, and even they thought Krishna might have done. Can you imagine? It's quite confusing now. How Dwarkavasis Satraji had done that's okay. But then Dwarkavasis also, everybody, because there were rumors, not just Satrajit was thinking, but other Dwarkavasis also thinking in the same way. Then Krishna had to save his name, so he went. So that's why there is difference between Brajavasis and Dwarkavasis. What is the difference?
Brajavasis will not do such a thing to Krishna.
Yeah. They actually for Brajavasis, Krishna was stealing their butter, and they knew that Krishna is stealing, but still they were so happy. But you see this Dwarkavasi, although Krishna didn't steal, and they are accusing him, and they are spreading the rumors that Krishna did this. So that's why the love of Brajavasi is uncomparable. Dwarkavasis, for some time they actually thought that Krishna did this act. So anyway, then Krishna thought I have to prove, and then he goes along with some of the Dwarkavasis, and then he finds, see, this person is dead here, and the lion has killed, and the lion is dead. The lion is outside the that cave of Jambon, and Krishna goes inside, and then he sees that money. They are about to bring that time. That time Jambon attacks, and there is fight with Jambon for 28 days. In 28 days they are fighting and fighting, and later Jambon, because although Jambon was very powerful, Jambon was there from Satya Yuga, and then Treta Yuga, and then Dwapar Yuga. He lived for a long time, Jambon. No? But then later he realizes that such a powerful person must be my lord, and then he actually begs forgiveness and gives the money back. And then he also gives along with the money whom he gives
Jambavati.
Jambavati marriage. And then of course Lord brings that and he says, see this jewel, you see this jewel, I brought it, it was there with that Jamban he had taken, and I had not done anything. And then he proves that he is innocent, he has not done anything. So what do you say? Convicted. What is the opposite of convicted? Acquitted? Acquitted is what is there.
Acquitted, yes.
Acquitted. So he was acquitted. First convicted and then acquitted. So he then showed and then gave the money to Satyajit. Now again Satyajit does this mistake. In Satyajit, that time he should have actually said, now Krishna, you only please keep it. Now he has got sufficient gold from that. But still now Krishna is testing him, whether he will give it back or not. So Krishna gives him, the Satyajit just takes and okay, thank you. And he takes it back. Now he should have given it back to Krishna. So he keeps it, and then he feels remorse that I unnecessarily accused Krishna, and then he gives actually this his daughter. Who is that? Satyajit's daughter is
Satyabhama.
Satyabhama.
Satyabhama. So Satyabhama is given to Krishna in marriage, and Satyajit actually tells Krishna to keep the jewel. So Krishna is testing whether he really wants to give. Krishna says, no, you keep it, and then he keeps it. So he keeps the jewel. Now that jewel becomes the now same jewel which he has kept, which is famous for producing gold and which is famous for for bringing auspiciousness. Same jewel brought inauspiciousness in life of Satyajit. Can you imagine? The same jewel, which here in one of the verses it said that the what is it? This thing, yeah. Each day the gem would produce 8 bharat of gold, 85 kilos. My dear Prabhu, and the place in which it was kept and properly worshipped would be free of calamities such as famine or untimely death. Or snake bites, mental, physical disorder, presence of disease person. So there is untimely death. Wherever that jewel will be, that will actually nobody will die untimely where the jewel is there. But because that jewel Satyajit had kept without actually utilizing in Lord Krishna's service, then it became inauspicious for him and he died untimely. Satyajit, he died untimely because the jewel was not used in Lord's service. So that same jewel brought inauspiciousness in his life. He was killed in front of all his relatives. He was there in the dead of the night. Shatadhanva had come and chopped his head off in front of everybody. So such inauspiciousness came in the life of Satyajit, and that jewel is famous for bringing auspiciousness. So like that, the money, the Lakshmi, when used in Krishna's service, can bring auspiciousness. If it is not used in Krishna's service, it can bring inauspiciousness. So at one place Prabhupada says that when Lakshmi, when the money is used in Lord Krishna's service, it is Lakshmi. When it is not used in Lord service, it becomes Durga. Same. And in Durga, we know how she has all choppers and all this. Chop the person who has that. So we want Lakshmi or we want Durga?
Lakshmi.
Lakshmi. So then Lakshmi, money has to be used in Krishna's service. Then it becomes Lakshmi. Otherwise it becomes Durga. So for Satrajit, the same money became Durga, and he was killed, cold-blooded murder. And then who took that? Shatadhanva. That is one, Shatadhanva. So that comes later. That story comes in the next chapter. But here, at least we see that the second lesson we see is money when used in Lord service, it is Lakshmi. When not used in Lord service, it becomes Durga. So for Satrajit, because he didn't use that in Lord service, actually it became a cause for his death. That is second lesson. We see that Yukta Vairagya principle should be followed. Whatever is there, use it for Lord service. Then it will not affect us. So so the people like Ravana, people like Duryodhan, so they want only Shakti without Shaktiman. So then it brings problem. So in Diwali, generally we have this Lakshmi Puja. So people what they want? They want Lakshmi, but they don't want Krishna. So what is another name of Lakshmi?
Chanchala.
No, Chanchala. So when not used in Lord service, she is Chanchala. But when used in Lord service, then she is stable. So like that, Satrajit, if you would have given that money to the king, then that Lord Krishna would have given some part to him, and he also had some gold, and later he could have given it back to Ugrasen, but he wanted it himself, everything. So then same, so much gold he had, and that same jewel became cause for his death because it became Durga. Durga. So so we see how even Sanatan Goswami, when he had that touchstone, he actually didn't touch it. The touchstone was not touched by Sanatan Goswami. He kept it far away because he knew that the kind of if he uses that, he as a setting an example, he could have used it for Lord service, but setting an example for people like us that one should actually not take so much trying to use for Krishna service that he becomes used by that. So Yukta Vairagya principle also one should be careful. So we may think, well, you can use this for Lord Krishna service and we may take more and more, and then later we'll forget Krishna but acquire so much wealth, and that can be cause of our death, spiritual death also. It happens. Yukta Vairagya. So like that, Yukta Vairagya, although Lakshmi should be used in Lord service, but if we get so much Lakshmi and some like that, sometimes then we get used by that. Instead of we using it in Krishna service, we ourselves get used by it. Even Yukta Vairagya principle should be very carefully followed. So we see Sanatan Goswami also. He had kept that parasmani away. So that is the one lesson. And the third lesson we learn is the shortcut wealth is dangerous. So this he had got shortcut wealth. Satrajit. By worshipping sun god, he had got this. So that is like shortcut. The shortcut wealth, those who earn like black money like that, it is dangerous. It can cause one's actual downfall. So actually, real jewel is who? Which is the real jewel we should present? Huh?
Krishna Prema.
Krishna. That is the real jewel. So that we should actually wear. Krishna Prema. So there is one verse which describes the ornaments of a devotee is are not the earrings, are not the gold which one wears in the earrings. The ornament for a devotee's ears are actually the earphones. Not the earphone. Or what is the ornament for devotees? The ears is always hearing Krishna Katha. That is the ornament. That is the jewel. So one should not try to put gold in hand and that may be there, but the real ornament of a devotee is actually for his ears. It is said that his ears are hearing Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha is the real ornament. That is the real jewel. So Satrajit, instead of running after the jewel of Krishna Prem, he ran after this Shamantak jewel, and that caused him death. So shortcut wealth is dangerous. So he got a shortcut method of getting rich, and then that caused so much trouble. And not only to him, to so many people. Shamantak Mani, who was killed because of that? His brother got killed. That lion got killed. There was fight. So much that money, Chintamani. You know what is Chintamani?
Prabhuji, I think one of the reasons why Krishna would have asked for this jewel is probably to save Satrajit's brother. Probably he didn't understand that.
Yeah, and he also would be saved. He also died finally. He died, his brother died. The lion also died, poor lion. So because of this fellow, so many people died, and there are so many rumors, and there are so many chaos. And because of that one Samantak money he didn't give to Krishna. So shortcut wealth he had acquired, and that he didn't use in Krishna's service. So that became the cause of his death. So Yukta Vairagya principle is there, of course, but one should be also careful how much one can use. Yukta Vairagya. So once Prabhupada was in one of the temples, and there were guests waiting for him, and they one by one some guests were coming and talking with Prabhupada, and they were giving some gift. So Prabhupada, one of the guests came and he gave Prabhupada one watch, the wristwatch. So Prabhupada saw that already he has one watch, but then he saw that that person has brought some watch. It's like ordinary watch. So Prabhupada took out his watch and gave to him as a maha, and wore the watch which he gave. And then he went, and then the next guest came, and that guest brought another costly watch, wristwatch, and then he gave to Prabhupada. And there our Shrutikirti Prabhu is watching him. And then Prabhupada took this watch which he has just gifted. He gave this watch to that person guest, and he took the new costly watch and wore it on his hand. And the third person came, he brought a gold watch which was fully made of gold, and he gifted that to Prabhupada. So Prabhupada took that watch, wore on his hand, fully gold watch, and took that previous watch and gave it as a Mahaprasad to that guest. And then Prabhupada was having golden watch. And now the fourth guest came, and he brought a really cheapest watch. Cheapest watch, it was very cheap. And he gave that to Prabhupada. So Prabhupada took that gold watch, gave as a Maha to that fellow, and wore that cheap watch on his hand. And Shrutikirti was so surprised by seeing this Prabhupada's behavior. And then he writes in his book that Prabhupada didn't say, oh, now this person, Prabhupada didn't think that this person has brought the cheapest watch and I am having a gold watch. So better take out this gold watch and keep Shrutikirti, keep this gold watch, and I will take this watch also and keep that gold watch. He didn't say. He gave that gold watch to that person. And he wore that most cheapest watch in his hand, and he was completely detached. So Shrutikirti was telling Prabhupada was doing Yukta Vairagya in his life because he has Vairagya so much, first of all. So for using Yukta Vairagya as a principle, we should first of all have Vairagya in us. So sometimes we say Yukta Vairagya, using everything in Krishna service, everything in Krishna service. And sometimes we acquire so many things, And actually then instead of we using them, they start using us. So we should be also very careful in what to use in Lord's service. Whether we have capacity to use, whether we have that much adhikar to use. First, to use yukta vairagya, we should have vairagya. So the first qualification for yukta vairagya is have vairagya, and then you can have yukta vairagya. So like that, Prabhupada had complete vairagya. So that's why he could use anything and everything for Lord Krishna's service. So we have to see how much vairagya we have, and accordingly we should do yukta vairagya. So we cannot use everything for Lord's service. Everyone cannot use everything in Lord's service. First of all, Satraji didn't use in Lord's service. That is a different thing. Even if something we want to use for Lord's service, then again we have to see whether we are qualified for that. Everyone cannot use everything for Lord's service. So, because for Yukta Vairagya also, Vairagya is required. Now, if you see Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was such a Yukta Vairagi, that what he would do, he would wear coat, pant, shirt, and like a Western person, and he would go out to preach, in that. And so much so, he had Yukta Vairagya at such a height that we cannot imagine also. You will get bewildered also, some of the stories if you hear. When the opening of Chaitanya Gaudiya Math was there, so he had called the Viceroy there to come. So the Viceroy was a Britisher. He said, I cannot come for a function like this. I can come on one condition, if I get some meat to eat. So if I eat meat in every meal, and what you will call me for a program and feast, and what you will give me some vegetables to eat, I won't come. So then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, can you imagine? He arranged for the Viceroy the cooked meat to be fed to him. Where? During that function. Can you imagine? You had heard this before? How many of you had heard?
Yes, Prabhu.
Heard, no?
Yeah.
No? So can you imagine this is Yukta Vairagya? But we cannot imitate that Yukta Vairagya. We will provide meat to some meat eaters. They want to come for our temple function. We cannot do that. That Bhakti Siddhanta could do. Actually, that Bhakti Siddhanta disciple said, okay, we'll bring from outside meat and we'll feed this wise approach. He said, no, in the temple you should cook the meat. So it was cooked there in the temple and it was fed to the Viceroy. The Viceroy came that time because meat is there. Another thing is, but we should not tell this in the public and like that. This like our devotees are telling. So they are acharyas, they know what they are doing. And when the construction of this one of the temple was going on, that time there were many workers who were working. So that time these workers were working, but they were taking breaks many times in between. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur that why are you taking so many breaks? The temple should continue. The construction should go fast. So they said, see, we have a habit of smoking bidi. Time and again we need bidi. So we have to go so far that bidi wala is there. And have to go and take bidi and smoke and then come back. That's why it's taking time. That's why it's taking time for construction. So then Bhakti Siddhanta told his disciple, some of the disciples, you sit here, make bidis for them so that they don't have to go far, that they can smoke bidis here and then temple construction can go on fast. His disciples, sannyasi disciples making bidi. You have seen bidi? I don't know whether you know bidi. Bidi is Deshi version of... Huh?
Villages.
Yeah, yeah. Crude version of cigarette. So
Gaja Bidi used to be famous in Chennai, bro.
Chennai, Bidi, yeah. So in the village they smoke bidi. So the Yukta Vairagya, of course, and he Actually, he revolutionized the whole concept of Yukta Vairagya. But then Prabhupada also in the same mood. But that's what everyone cannot use everything in Lord service. So something we can use for Lord service. But if something is there which is too big for us to use, then actually it's better not to take. So that's what Sanatana Goswami is showing by that, not touching the forest. I don't want to use in Krishna service. Let there be in the dust be. In our temple also, NVCC once one this famous person is Manik Chand. You have heard about Manik Chand? What is Manik Chand famous for?
Pan Parag.
This fellow, Gutka. This person had come to temple and he wanted to give huge donation to temple. So then Gopal Krishna Maharaj, they would ask that he wants to give some crores of rupees for the temple. Maharaj said, no, we cannot take it from him. We cannot take it because that will have a severe reaction for us. So we cannot use everything. Everybody cannot use everything in Krishna service. That is the principle. So we denied. Although we had to struggle for money, but it was giving crores of money. But so that's why Yukta Vairagya also is has to be used cautiously. Careful. So of course,
Sorry for
Satraj.
interruption.
Yeah.
Prabhu, is it they are also saying, no, Prabhu, like whatever used in Krishna's service, it will get purified because Krishna actually is pure. So it will not touch him, right? So if you are using in Krishna's service, like Srila Prabhupada is giving, like Krishna is like sun. So there are like a lot of abominable things on the earth, like urine, and but sun will evaporate everything, but the sun will not get contaminated. So is it not that if it is used for our service, of course, the karma comes back. But when we are using in Krishna's service, so is it not that it will not affect Krishna in any way? Definitely, we know that. How to take understand this?
Yeah, that's true. But see, because who is using that in Krishna's service? No? So that person is giving donation, and then we are accepting, and then we are going to use in Krishna's service. So we are also a via medium there, because we are via medium. So we there is risk of we getting affected. Okay, so that's why Maharaj said we cannot take from him like that, because a powerful person should be there, or somebody who is like Acharya and like Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur and Prabhupada, and they are like great acharyas, Can we do like that? That make BDs for the workers, or make meat, cook the meat in the temple and feed. So that is like beyond our imagination. But the acharyas, they can, even they become via media, they will not get affected. They can immediately transfer the same to Krishna. But when we become via media, so some part will come to us also. So that's why we have to be cautious. Even going like from there, we go to house for prasad and like that. So we maybe taking prasad and on Krishna's behalf, but and we also get affected if we go at people who don't follow principles and like that. So as a via media, when we are there, when we are using on behalf of somebody in Krishna service, then we also actually get affected like that. So we have to be careful.
Understood. Thank you.
Amul Arjun question.
So, Prabhuji, this is actually in the same question which Shivagana Prabhuji had asked. Prabhuji, it is said, no, Nirbande Krishna Sambande. So, how do we understand Nirbande Krishna Sambande to this particular example? If somebody wants to purify their wealth and they want to donate to the temple, so how do we understand that?
Yeah, but somebody who is having like this, example, money that you are asking particular, right? We have, So for such a person, actually, if he wants to use for Krishna or like that, so he will have to actually mend his ways in what he is doing. So there is another person here in Pune, Venkis. I heard of Venkis. So he has built.
Venki's Atta? Atta?
Chicken. Venki's chicken, I think. Chicken they have.
Yeah, Venki's is a very big group. I think.
Venki's Atta.
Atta.
Yes,
Atta means the floor.
It's a very big corporate. It's a very big corporate. They have a lot of activities.
Yeah, but they have many chicken also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this fellow has in Pune has built a huge temple of Balaji there. And beside that only temple campus, he has this chicken poultry and all that. Like that. So he's earning a lot, but just to purify and show that how I am also a pious person, and like that, he had built that temple. So from our side, actually, if from his side he wants to purify his money and he wants to make advance, then he has to change the way in which he is working. Hmm. Such money, if he is continuing to kill the animals and then simultaneously build a temple and wants to give money, by that Lord may not be pleased so much. Of course, that's something he has given, at least some benefit will be there. But then again, doing the same things, in continuing with his business and also building a temple just to show, but not mending his ways, will not actually be so pleasing to the Lord. So if he wants to really purify himself, then he should change the way in which he is doing his work. And from our side, to take something from that person and using it in Krishna something, you said that of course that we can use in Krishna service, but we also have to get the part of that reaction, because you are using na. He is not directly given to Krishna. You are the via medium. So then we become part of the some part we get, and that is huge, such simple reaction, and that part is also huge. Because she's killing in thousands and thousands and lakhs, this chicken and all that. So that huge quota of sins, and even if we get part of that, that part is also sufficient to destroy us.
Roji, if somebody is coming and putting in the hundi, how it will be?
Yeah, if we are not aware and they are putting in hundi, then that is like him and between Krishna. But we are not part of that. We are not part of that. But he asked us that I want to give this much money and can I give? That time then Maharaj said we don't want. Like that. But he has of course option. He can put somebody. He cannot put crores of rupees in the hundi, but he can put whatever he wants to put in hundi. That is like then we are not held responsible then for that. We will not get reaction for that. So we should be clear, because that even the part of that reaction can be really huge for us. Manik Chand, people breaking the one of the four agreements was our people. Manik Chand, Gutka, and the Venki's, such people. Their quota is huge. Just like they have huge money, that much quota they have of sins also. A little part of that also, if it affects to us, it's a huge thing. So that's why it said that everyone cannot use everything in Lord's service. So that's why we have to be careful. So some powerful acharya can do something. You have heard about the story of Tirumangai Alvar. You heard Tirumangai Alvar? Yeah, how he built this Srirangam temple. You heard Amala Vijayapur?
I've heard about Tirumangai Alvar, Prabhuji.
How he built?
I'm not sure whether so somebody was a dacoit who turned to be a.
Yeah, he was a dacoit, of course, and he turned to be acharya, and then later he had some disciples who had mystic powers. Somebody had power of walking on the water. Somebody had power of opening any tijori. Somebody had power of catching one's by shadow. So Tirumangai Alvar wanted to rebuild this Srirangam temple. It was quite fallen and like that. And he was asking people to give money, but people are not giving money for building renovation of Srirangam temple. So then his disciples proposed this, and we can do some way. He said, "Oh, what is that?" They said, "By heat, sitting and then he gave permission. So these three of them would go to people's house who were rich, and they would open by their mystic power. One person would catch the person by his shadow, so he cannot move, and another would go and open the tijori, and he would bring like that. So they looted many of them. Like that they brought money. And then many the chore and the many thieves like that, they also got connected. So sabse bada chor ye Tirumangai Alvan. So they also joined. So many started looting rich people and they started building temple. And these thieves were only helping in building the construction of the temple. And when the temple was built after 60 years by this all looted money, and these people who were working, these all the thieves, they said, now give us our salary. चिरुमंगे अलवर said, मैंने तो सब कुछ यूज कर दिया भगवान की सेवा में, but हमारा salary है कहाँ है? Okay, we'll give. Next day you come. So he told them, come. And he had a big boat. And he said, you all sit in this. You see that Kaveri river, huge Kaveri river. In between there you see one island on that side. On that island there is lot of wealth. You will get lot of wealth. Don't worry. Today we are going to give you your salary. And then he told that one disciple who can walk on water, you sit. And then Tirumangai Alvar, other disciples were on the shore only. He said, Tata, you will go there, take the wealth, and you will get salary, double salary. And then they went right in the middle of the Kaveri river. And then Tirumangai Alvar already told to his disciple the plan. What he does, he actually makes a hole in the boat, and the water starts coming, and the boat sinks, and so many of the thieves, they drown in the ocean. They are drowned in the river Kaveri and Jala Samadhi. Now, if you see two things, Tirumangai Alvar first of all built the temple by all the chori kamal, and second thing, he killed all these people. He killed hundreds of them. So now who can do that? Only Tirumangai of that level. He said that these all people, they will go back home, back to God, whoever died in that river. So these people can do such extraordinary things, and they will not be touched by any simple reaction. So, but we cannot do all this. So that's why Yukta Vairagya principle has to be cautiously used. Not everybody can use everything in Lord's service. So that is the principle. Okay. So that is what we see. And Satrajit, we see he had got such huge money in that jewel, and he didn't use in Lord's service. And instead that he kept for himself, and that became the cause of his destruction. And even if we have money and we use in Krishna service, that is nice, but we should not use everything and everything for Lord service. We should see our adhikar also, how much we can use in Lord service. And that much only we should do. Too much big thing we can take, and that we become used by sometimes. Instead of we using that thing, we become used by that like that. Sometimes it happens. So we have to see our adhikar also. Okay, so which are the lessons we saw today?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Lesson 1, one may stay near Krishna or Krishna's Dham, but still may not be denying. But maybe still denying Krishna's will.
Oh, yeah. First lesson. Second, somebody else?
Lakshmi are for Lord service, then Lakshmi will be with them. If we are not using for Lord service, Durga will be with them.
She will turn into Durga. Yeah. And third?
Yukta Vairagya.
Shortcut will danger.
Shortcut wealth is dangerous. That also we saw.
dangerous.
Satrajit got shortcut. It turned dangerous. And of course, we saw this also, that not everybody can use everything in Lord's service. So we should not. Otherwise, Sanatana Goswami would have taken Paras money and used it. He was showing for us, not everybody can use everything in Lord's service. We should use whatever we have, but we should not take something which is difficult for us and be used by that only instead of using. Some examples we have. Sometimes from Pune, the devotees go, they say we'll go to US, earn a lot, and then give it to Krishna, and then peacefully live nicely in a dham or like that. And then what they happen? They go to US and some countries and they earn, and then they keep earning only. There is no question of giving to Krishna and retiring. So that is one example. Using something in Krishna service which is too heavy, and one becomes used by that. Okay, so thank you so much.
Thank
for
you,
your
Prabhuji.
kind patience.
Prabhuji, if you can give me 1 minute, Prabhuji, half a minute.
Yes.
This Lord Krishna, after he found the Samantaka jewel, he comes and says, he narrates the entire story and says that he's innocent. So I remember something which I learned in law when I was doing my college. It said, innocent unless proven guilty, but in this case, guilty unless proven innocent.
Acha, yeah. And what is in law? That the law? You are innocent unless proven guilty.
Yes,
Acha,
innocent
acha.
unless proven guilty. But in Krishna's case, he was guilty unless and until he's proven innocent.
Yeah, yeah. Because they thought he is guilty because of the previous incidents. He had asked for the money, so then he had to prove that I am not guilty. And the amazing thing is actually the Dwarkavasis. If you read the verse by verse translation of this, there is some verse where actually it is said that Dwarkavasis also thought that Krishna is actually he did twice
That's
that.
two times.
Two times. So Sukdev Goswami is written in his tone, there is some kind of anger when he is quoting that sloka. How can Dwarkavasis think like that? And twice. Like that. So that's why they are Dwarkavasis.
Today, Shivaguna Prabhuji gave me one video. This is actually His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj is talking about the mind, where he's comparing the mind to be like a monkey. And when the monkey is initially given the banana, it struggles a bit to open the banana. So there's a process it takes. And then after it opens the peels and eats a banana, it is very happy. So similarly, we are also in the same condition. Initially, in devotional services, we struggle and we don't understand what is the sweet part which is contained inside that. And once we pass through the tests and turbulence, then we understand that there is this condensed milk, condensed kheer that is there inside this whole thing. So I just thought I'd relate it to the example that you have given to me.
Yeah, nice. You all know so much. I should hear sometimes from all of you. Instead, I will hear next time.
with your blessings, Prabhuji, we have made a lot of notes. So hopefully we'll put to use one day.
We have to use, otherwise the notes will go back home back.
Yes.
Yes. One quick doubt, Prabhu.
Yes.
Regarding this Ganesh, you are saying, no? Like one case we know that the person is already like Manik Chanda or whatever. We know the person that it is coming like this. Other is the Hundial. But if you collect from a person who we do not know, that like we don't know, it's like we know it's a normal person he's giving, but he has earned it in an illegal way. We do not know. We do not know the background of the person. Many people come to the temple, they give money. We do not know them, how they earn this money. In that case, like how it will be like handled or how we should take it.
So basically what should be there is like, of course, when we know, then we should avoid. But now when we don't know and somebody is giving some money and we don't know how he has earned, and so that's why we should be very pure in our very sadhana and our behavior. So when we have good shock absorber, then we can absorb some shock. So, but we don't have good shock absorber, and then there is shock. Then what will happen? The car will break down. So to have good shock absorber means we should have good sadhana, and that's how then we will have good shock absorber. So for like as brahmacharis also, we many times people call us for Brahman Bhojana like that. Radhesham Guru is very strict. He said you should go to somebody only when you know them and they are devotees and they cook. They are 16 rounders and like that. But sometimes some new people also call. Then that time we have to be careful, and if we are strong, then we can absorb because the reaction comes through food also. So then our sadhana should be good so that we absorb that shock. Sometimes we have to go, but then we have to be good in sadhana. Then that shock absorber should be strong. That we can do. But try to avoid when we know that this fellow is giving money and that is black money, as much as possible. Like that.
Understood. Thank you very much.
Amalarajan Prabhu, you can conclude, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji, Manibhushan Prabhuji, for giving me the opportunity to thank Prabhuji. Prabhuji, thank you once again for the enlivening, brilliant lecture as always. The beautiful pastime of the Samantaka jewel. Well, we learned so many beautiful lessons. So we are very grateful to you that every week you are giving your time, especially later part of the day, every Saturday, and this is actually immensely benefiting us in our journey in Krishna consciousness. So we are highly indebted to you, Prabhuji, for your time and effort, and the way you are giving the classes. I think nobody can make it more simpler than the way you are doing it. We are also hearing many other lectures, but I think you are giving the gulab jamun and ice cream, and you are putting it into our mouth, and we have to just release it and swallow it. So, so thank you so much. So let us all thank Prabhuji by chanting 3 times Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Vijay, send one message. Please reply.